So hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel QA Explainer. So guys, in this video, I'm going to show you the SDET profile roadmap, and then I'll tell you the like detailed view or this roadmap. So guys, let's get start this video. So guys, if you were looking for a SDET role or HDET role, so I think this video is for you. So after this video, you will get to know how to like make yourself is a better QA or better manual and automation engineer. So guys, let's start this video, guys. So first thing is like you need to understand the fundamental of QA. It will take maximum 1 month, 1 month to 2 3 weeks. So here you need to understand the core concept of software testing. So here you need to cover that some below topics. One is QA basic. What is QA? Means like why that QA is required, like SDLC, STLC. So this kind of QA basic you need to learn. Okay, and like then you have to learn the types of testing, like functional testing, non-functional testing, regression testing, smoke, sanity. So many testings are there that you need to learn. Okay, then you need to learn the software development life cycle or SDLC and STLC both, and you need to know the difference between SDLC and STLC processes. Then you need to understand the test cases. What is the test cases, how to write the test cases. You need to know that test cases design technique, you like boundary value analysis, equivalent partition, decision partition table. So many things are there. And then you need to understand the difference between test scenario and test cases, how to write the test scenario, how to write the test cases, what is the test scenario, how you transform that test scenario to test cases. So this kind of thing. Then you have to learn the defect life cycle. So defect life cycle, like how to report a defect, how many life cycles are there in defect, how to track the defect in the tools like Jira, Bugzilla, Azure DevOps. So these things you need to learn. Then you need to learn the tools like test management tools like TestRail, Zipper. So many tools are there. Okay, then you have to know like bug tracking tool like Jira, Trello, Azure DevOps, project management tool is there. So these tools you need to understand. So once you are clearing with that your fundamental of QA, then you can start applying the jobs from day one itself. So jobs regarding like manual testing and QA role, you can start applying it. Okay, now if you want to transform that your manual testing to that automation level testing, or you want to go with that SDT profile, then you have to learn the programming. Okay, so programming mastery you have to do. So here I it will take another 2 to 3 months, depends upon person understanding in code. If person knows the code from beginning itself, then it will take 1 to 2 months. If person doesn't about the code, how to write the code logic, what is the code, why you have to write the code basic, code data type, code you can say keyword, oops concept. So then it will take I think 5 to 6 months. Okay, so here you have to learn the programming language, and you have to write that automation script along with this programming language. So here recommended language is like Java, because it is most preferred in HDAT role. If you are not going with Java, then you can choose the Python, because it is very easy to understand and currently widely used in testing also. So many frameworks are there in Python, like robot framework. So many things are there. So you have to choose that any one of them. So if you want to recommend from my side, I'll suggest you start knowing the Java first, because Java is like a robust programming language, and you can know that so many concepts. Okay, from deeply point of view, if you want to learn the programming language from beginning itself, you don't know about any one of them right now, then start learning the Java, guys, because Java is a very robust framework. If you want to uh, if you want to make yourself job ready within a couple of months, then I suggest like go with Python. Then and suppose that if you are brand new in this field, if you don't know about like QA and anything, and you are just standardizing that side by side or parallel basis, then you can choose the JavaScript, because mostly Playwright and Cypress, they are using JavaScript only, and there is not that much high demand, but still that demand is there in market. Okay, now here are some key areas you need to master. Okay, key areas like oops concept, that is the most important concept. So many interviews they will ask you regarding that oops concept, how that object oriented programming, encapsulation, inheritance, abstraction, and like polymorphism. So many things are there in oops concept. Oops concept. So you have to understand that oops concept, and then you have to do some practice related data structure and algorithm like stack map, list map, array list. These all are some non-primitive data thing. So you have to learn this data structure and algorithm, like algorithm in the sense of like bubble sort algorithm. You'll get to know once you will go through this profile. Have to practice your data structure algorithm in that lead code words, hacker rank. So these platforms are there. I has completed that hacker rank Java certification with the beginner and advanced basis. Okay, so this certification you need to do, so you will get to know the understanding of data structure and algorithm. Then you have to start knowing the exception handling and file handling. So this is that most important thing. If you have started writing your automation framework, then exception handling and file handling is most crucial part of it. Then you have to know that data purging like JSON, XML data, how to purge the data, how to include this data inside your automation script. So these things you need to learn. So yeah, so that's all about like QA and manual QA, and this is that your programming part, so automation part. I think if you are start doing parallel, then it will take I think 6 to 7 months, and within the 6 to 7 months, you will definitely be job ready and you'll get your first job from these two. Okay, and if you want to transit your manual to automation, then I think it will take that another 2 months, 2 to 3 months to understand that properly. So first thing is like you have to learn the automation testing framework first. So automation testing framework like test Selenium WebDriver you have to learn. Inside that, how to automate that web application. Cover the topics like you have to cover the topics like locator, O8, action, handling multiples window, how to do so these things, how to use that iframe, how to use JavaScript executor inside that your Selenium script. So these things you have to learn. Okay, if you want to learn the Playwright and Cypress, that is the alternative of Selenium, then also you have to cover this topic like locators. Inside the locators, get by ID method is there, expert is there. So these things you have to learn. Okay, and if you want to go with that API automation, then you have to learn the REST SEO. So inside the REST SEO automation, first you need to learn the API first. How what is API? How to test the API by the help of Postman, that you need to know. No, then you have to start doing that REST SEO. REST SEO inside that you have to understand that get, put, post, delete this thing. Once you know about this thing, then you are good to go from QA to automation role. But if you want to start pursuing that Android automation testing, then you have to understand that APIM. So it is like a similar tools, similar like Selenium. Is what is the difference between these two? Here, Selenium is directly communicate with that browser by the help of Selenium WebDriver, but APIM is communicated through that APM server. It is directly communicated that Android SDK device with that help of APM server. Okay, so only that difference. Other things are quite similar, and other script writing also is quite similar. Okay, now once you were completed this basic concept, then you have to know the advanced concept like page object model. That is the most important thing. Okay, you have to know like how to write, how to make your script more modular, so it will be very easy to maintain, very easy to debugging, and very easy to writing also, and very easy to implementing also. So that's why page object model is widely followed. Then you have to choose the framework. Mostly companies are using hybrid framework, but lots of different frameworks are there like Cucumber framework, and other 2 or 3 frameworks are there like Canada framework, Mocha framework. So many frameworks are there, but mostly companies are one. If you know the hybrid framework, they will easily hire you. Okay, so inside that hybrid framework, you have to know the data driven framework and keyword driven framework. So TDD and cure driven is there. And if you want to learn that behavioral data driven framework, then you have to know that Cucumber framework. Okay, so there is some differences are there. You have to know that what is the difference between data driven, keyword driven, behavior driven, okay, test data driven, TDD. So these things are there. That things comes under advanced topic. Okay. Now, if you want to pursue your career in API testing, it will take hardly 1 month. You have to know that what is the API. Like you have to know that REST API and SOAP API and GraphQL. So, if you know, most companies they are using REST API itself, but if, these other two things like REST, other two things like SOAP and GraphQL, if you know that one, then you will go to you can develop that good understanding in API field. Okay, so once you know that one, then you have to understand that HTTP method, status code, request and response header, and then you have to understand that API automation tool like Postman, REST Azure, Karate. So Postman, yeah, here you can test that your API manual way, and also you can automate that API by the help of Postman. And then you have to learn that API documentation by the help of Swagger. Okay, so these kind of things are there, tools are there that you need to understand. Then you need to check that assessment part of it, API. So for that you need to check that JSON and XML schema validation part. So these kind of things you need to understand. For tools point of view, you need to know that Postman, Swagger, and SOAP UI. Then once it is done, so like I think that this is more than enough to get the job in market. If you are want to pursuing that basic level of QA profile or a SDT profile, then it is more than enough. But if you has more experience on this field, like more than 3 years experience or more than 4 years experience, then you have to understand that CI/CD pipeline also. You have to know the CI/CD pipeline. So CI/CD pipeline you have to like cover that some skill, what is that based DevOps practices. You have to know the Jenkins, how to create the pipeline, how to automate that your test execution. You have to know that GitHub action, how to put your repo in GitHub, or if you are using any other git like Azure git, then how to create that repo, how to manage that repo, how to push and pull that your mm, code from that your framework to your ID to that repo. So these things you have to understand quite like deep way. And you have to understand that VCS system by that using Git. So the VCS means like version control system, how to manage that version control system. For here you have to understand that branching concept, Git branching, how to manage that branch, and how to create that multiple branch, and you can change, you can make that multiple branches, how to accumulate that all branch in a single branch. So this kind of branching concept you have to understand, you have to learn. Now performance and security testing, this is totally objective basis. If you want to pursuing that more deep way in this SDET profile, and if you want to tilt towards your cyber security side, then you have to understand that performance and security testing. So performance security is totally different, but most of the companies they are actually looking for performance part of it. So performance, you have to understand the JMeter, and JMeter is, if you know the JMeter, then other tools are quite similar. Okay, load runner actually is there, neoload is there, but if you know JMeter, then you can easily understand that other tools. I think it is more than enough. You have to know that what is endurance testing, load testing, how to create the JMeter report. If you want to go in the security testing, then you have to understand the bar suit, Wireshark, some security basics. Okay, like how to check that, how to decrypt the password, username, how to map that, how to fake that APIs. Through that you can log in, how to do that SQL injection attack, how to do that HTML injection attack. So these things you have to know. So this thing is a quite deep, and if you know these things, then you can move from SDT profile to cyber security uh, analyst profile. Okay. And most of the companies, they are also looking for database testing. This is the another part of it. So this is totally comes to data analytics part. But most of the companies, they are looking, if you want to go with that SDET profile, then data based testing also, it is a part of it. You have to learn that SQL. So SQL is a necessary thing. You have to learn the joins, you have to know the subqueries, nested queries, means nested tables. So how to create the tables, how to destroy the tables, how to edit that table. So these kind of things you have to know, SQL basics. And then you have to do that card operation in your database, that you need to do. And most of that companies, if you are going with your manual testing profile, they're asking SQL must. So my suggestion is start learning MySQL and Postgres. Both are quite similar, only little bit syntax differences are there. And for no documented database, MongoDB is there. So MongoDB is basically using JSON, bjson format, or it is a documented database, so you can put your data in documented way. So this kind of concept you need to learn. It will take maximum 2 weeks. If you are going with if you are not going with parallel way, if you are going with that unidirectional way, then it will take the 2 weeks. If you are going the parallel, then it will take, I think, a couple of months. It will take. Once you are knowing that all those things, then you have to know the advanced automation framework. You should practice in a such a way, like they will provide, means like interviewer will provide you a problem statement, and you need to implement these problems. You need to implement the framework to solve this problem statement. So you have to design the framework. So custom framework design you have to know. You have to know the page factory, advanced page factory, that how to implement the page factory if you're going with Selenium. And then you have to check the logging part of it by the help of Log4j tool, so you can get to know why that test execution is getting failed, what is the problem behind it. And you have to learn the test engine framework or JUnit framework, DPOA, advanced test engine JUnit. So you can provide the data by the help of data provider annotations. By the help of group by annotations, you can group that cases, and like these kind of things you have to know. Depends on method, depends on annotations is there, so like that way you have to do. Then for reporting part, most companies are basically using extent report, but Allude report is also gaining so much popularity. So this thing, how to include this report inside that your framework, that you need to understand. Then parallel execution and grid testing, that you need to understand. So grid testing is basically using in Selenium. So Selenium grid is there, grid server, so there you can make that Selenium grid. And so there is one master device is there, and some node devices are there. So one hub is there and some nodes are there. So one node machine, you have to install that your browser, like browser in the sense of Chrome browser. Another node, you have to install that Firefox browser or any browser. Okay, multiple OSs are there, and through that one hub you can control the node. So this is nothing but our grid environment or grid testing. So these things you need to know. And Docker, most of the companies, they are using Docker for destroying the conflict between that tester and developer. So once you are ready with that, then you are very good to go to get a very good job in SDET role. And scripting and infrastructure automation, this is so much advanced level. So here some scripting language you need to know like Shell, Python. So I think this thing actually comes while you are doing it. You can't learn from any other resources. So it is quite that's why these things I have put it in last. Okay, soft skill and agile methodologies you have to understand. You have to know that agile, Scrum. So this from here onwards, 9, 10, and 11. So these things you have to do parallel way. Okay, so these all are actually by that doing you get to know. You can't learn from like any resources. It will comes while you have started doing it. Now, soft skill, you have to know that agile principle and Scrum ceremonies, like different Scrum meetings are there, like retrospective, sprint, daily stand-up meeting, like how to create the daily stand-up meeting, how to define the retrospective meeting scope, and what is the conclusion of this meeting. So these things you have to know. So uh, this thing. And most important is collaboration between different teams like product managers, stakeholder, developers, how to communicate with that your client. So you'll get to know that most changing the requirement changes, and you can include these requirement changes inside that your agile or scrum sprint. So these things you have to know. Resume, project, and job search, this is you have to do. So you can automate that any e-commerce website and put that automated script inside your GitHub profile. You can showcase your skill to upcoming interviewer. Resume, you have to start making a good resume, good ATS friendly resume, so it will get selected in multiple job portal. So for my side, that resume making is a quite difficult thing actually. It is easy, but figure out is quite difficult, because I have done so much experiment in resume part, and I have created that. Finally, I have created a good ATS resume that got selected in multiple companies. So resume making is a very difficult part here. Okay, for my side, because you will not get that this thing in any resources, any online resources, or any kind of normal YouTube videos. You have to do it, and by that doing itself you can develop this skill. So for that, multiple certification you need to do, like I'm a ISTQB certified certified tester. So because I have done that ISTQB CTFL certification, and so many certifications are there. So mostly that certification you need to do just to showcase your skill. So and here I am providing that some suggested timeline. So suggested timeline in the sense of here, so first is like QA fundamental. I think it will take 1 month. So this is a unidirectional. Remember that one. It is not parallelly actually. Then you have to know the programming skill. It will take 2 months. I'm taking 2 months. Okay. A manual to automation transition, it will take another 2 months. So it already has taken 5 months. API testing you have to know. So another 1 month. So 6 months. So 6 months has totally occupied here. Now this thing is not necessary. This 1 month is not necessary. But this advanced framework, this is also not necessary if you are started applying the entry level job. But if you are already has some experience in this domain or QA domain, then this thing is necessary, advanced automation framework. So take 2 months. So another, and this two also you can take like 1 month. So 6 month is already being occupied here. 7th, 8th, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13th. So within that year itself you were uh, ready to apply the advanced SDET role. So I think this one actually there. So let me conclude this video, guys. So first thing is programming language. You have to know the programming language. Then you have to know the testing, any testing tool like Selenium, REST Assured, Playwright, DevOps tool, anything like Git, Docker, Jenkins, performance tool like JMeter. You have to know test management tool like TestRail, Jira, or Azure DevOps. So I hope this video is actually helpful for you. And if this video is helpful for you, please subscribe my channel, help me to grow in YouTube. And if you have any comment, please comment down. If you so based upon your comment, I can figure out like what area need to be improved from my side. And thank you. Thanks for your valuable time.